This is Sheila Corona with Conscious Conversation Central, and today is Monday. Well, let's see. It is August the 9th, 2021, and I am joined this afternoon by my good friends Lisa Flamino Rush and Krystle Hempel of Journey Into It and Beyond. Thank you, ladies, for coming so quickly. This is, I'm really excited because we had this conversation last night, Lisa and BZ and I, and Krystle was invited to come play. I mean, I reached out to you specifically in telepathy, actually, not in private message. I reached out to you specifically in telepathy and asked you to do something very specific. And so I'm actually, when I got your private message this morning, that was just so funny. I'm going to, I'm trying to pull it up here because I want to read it because it was just so perfect. Here we go. Well, I went too far. Bear with me. I know, right? Okay. She says, before I watched the recording, so this was this morning, BZ shared it on her channel this morning. Okay. And so Krystle said, before I watch the recording, I'm going to send you what I wrote down. Not sure I played the game right, LOL. I think I was testing my remote viewing skills. Well, I laughed the minute I saw that. I was like, oh my God. Because right before we started the recording, I actually sat here in my room and spoke out into the ethers and asked you specifically to remote view the entire conversation. So the fact that you actually got that in that fashion and thought you were playing the game wrong, I think that's, I'm sorry, I got chills over my whole body when I saw that, and I did again just now because that is awesome.
Yeah, and on my end over here, I was super confused. I was like, hold on, I'm not sure I'm playing this game right. So when you were on live, you had came live on Facebook to let everybody know we was going to play a little game, and I was like that kid in class that wouldn't stop asking questions, and then when it got down to time, and I was like, okay, I don't really know what I'm doing here, but I'm just going to set an intention to play. And then all of a sudden it was like my consciousness began to move into like a three-way space. It was as if I was there with you guys. And I was trying to make myself known too at the same time, like throughout the whole ordeal. I was trying to make myself known to see if any of y'all could kind of pick me up.
Well, that's very interesting because I wondered if there was, because I started the moment we started, I was wondering if I was feeling you or what. Because what I said was I felt expansion in my heart. Now a lot of other folks may not realize, because I don't know if this actually gone on camera anywhere or not, but you and I had a conversation just recently here where you shared with me that you'd had a huge heart expansion and that your chest area was actually muscularly sore.
Yeah.
And I was feeling that. And of course, I attributed it to my own. But I also, there was some things that I wrote down here that when we were sharing earlier, I didn't share out loud for whatever the reason, but I wrote them down because I wondered if some of this might not come up later, right? And so when you start sharing a little bit more about what you experienced, we might find, because there's some things that have, even Lisa and I this morning, having our little confab in the kitchen, we're like, oh, wow, I didn't say this, but you know what? Wow, that kind of stuff.
Watching that video this morning and like following along with my notes, and I was like, what? What?
Now you know why I kept sending you. Krystle send me these pictures one at a time, and I'm looking at it going, oh my God, just keep going, girl, keep going, because you're not gonna believe what you're seeing.
Yeah, it was quite mind blowing on my part over here. Just I mean, I've played around with remote viewing, a little bit. Me and my friend used to play a little game, trying to see what you're doing at the moment. But this, I don't know.
That's why I say I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to pull up. I'm going to pull up the items that, the handwritten notes that you sent to me, so we can look at them, share the screen, because I actually even took a photo of my Fairies book page for ecstasis to share with Krystle what it looks like, because I mean, look at these words here: freedom, unity. How many times did we say unity, for God's sakes? The song. Now, what for me, that one there, a lot of this right here has to do with what I feel like that ecstasis. And you know what I mean?
Yep.
Number one. And number two, I also feel like, well, like I said, I was hearing, and I told Lisa later, I'm not sure exactly what it was. It was, but that song just, it's sort of haunting, and it's just beautiful, and it's really, there's no words. It's just, and that's why I wasn't sure if I was hearing you or if I was hearing me necessarily. And I was definitely seeing something. So all of what this is here for me, I mean, the eternal flame you've got there, union, infinity. But this right here is what I wanted everyone to see. I'm going to stop. So right here, I hope everybody can see that Krystle has the word void. Right here, she has quotation marks. She's got it circled, right? There's a big thing about the void there. I'm going to stop sharing so you guys can see this. Here's the book I read from last night about ecstasis. And I mean, it's in there. It's in the, hold on a second. See, this is where that overhead camera would sure come in handy. Here we go. Here's speaker view. So hopefully it'll be me up there instead of y'all. Can you see that word void there on the page? Am I showing it close enough?
I can see it.
Okay. I hope so. I'll figure out a way. But anyway, I looked at that when what you wrote, and I saw that, and I was like, oh my God, because of what I knew I'd asked you to remote view, the way you wrote it is exactly the way it is in the book, minus the circling. That's all. You've got the quotations around the word void, just like it has here. I don't know, that to me felt huge. That one specific thing for me. Lisa, you had something specific about that when I shared that with you.
I did. I can't help but think of my own experience. I felt like we were guided into the void together. And that's where the experimental play took place. And so I felt like you were saying that's where we were. Like that was you were IDing the locale of the event. And I feel like we traveled, and I say we because I knew I wasn't alone, but I didn't really have any sense. I kind of never do really. I just know I'm with my posse. We, the gang, we all went. And what was interesting for me was that there was traveling involved in there. So it felt like a meetup, a conscious traveling, going there. Yeah.
Yep. There was so much when I was watching that video. I know one of the things I definitely want to talk about is when y'all were doing that little meditation and you were actually coming up over the trees or seeing the treetops, and you kept saying that there was like a scene happening, like something happening. And I had not shared with Sheila that first part that it sounded crazy to me when I began to read over what I had wrote, and I read that part. I hadn't quite gotten to the part of the video where you were talking about that. And I was like, it really made me wonder if, because even Sheila describing her part, what she had experienced, I had really began to wonder if we were all not in different perspectives at that same at that same scene. But the part of it, because you said it felt like something was happening, it was a scene or whatever, and I was talking about people running all over the place and light coming over the land, and then about that time you were talking about, I think it was you or Sheila one, it might have been BZ actually, was talking about the sensations in the body feeling light, and I had actually wrote my body was feeling light. So that was, oh man.
Well, that's what I say. I'm sorry, go ahead, Lisa.
No, that's okay. But I just so agree with you that it was an event. I said that to Sheila. I feel like we are all describing sort of how we perceived from the void an event that we were all privy to. And I didn't say it then either, but it felt to me like it felt the green was Aurora Borealis, but underneath the tree line, which I didn't go into, was a bunch of purpley lavender. So it was very deep purpley, almost black at the bottom, that went up to lavender, but they were shaped like flames. So I felt like there was a lavender fire everywhere. And I was seeing like the little tippy wispies of the flame, which was more violet. And it all kind of was a morphing dark purpley cloud. And I felt like I couldn't see the scene through the purple dense cloud, but that where the horizon met the scene is what I saw, right? And that feeling, remember, I was levitating above the trees, watching it. My perspective wasn't in the milieu because I couldn't even see through it enough to know what it was. Yeah, so I think that we're onto something, that we all bore witness to something.
Yes. Well, I got to tell you, Lisa, this addition of what you're sharing here is very interesting to me, most specifically since, like I said, what was so wild to me, I just drew it here for lack of anything else. I mean, this isn't exact, okay, but when I said that I had that white, bright white, like blinding light, but it also, see how I've got that darker ring around it? That was that deep, almost black, purple, violet that you're talking about there, Lisa. And that's why when you, Krystle, put it on your thing about the eternal
flame. That's what I was sitting here thinking. I'm like, I wonder if that's why I wrote that.
Well, and what was so wild about it for me, especially with that light, is that I couldn't. It was so wild. It was almost as though the light, because it just sat there, and it didn't move, it didn't go anywhere. It was just sitting there, almost blinding me in only my left eye. So it was just wild. I don't know what that was about.
That's interesting. I've been feeling this blinded by the light moment is coming. Like we're all stunned. I don't know if you remember the old days of the flash bulb, but I do, because I would always get blinded and see spots forever. But I feel like it's that. It's this flash that is so blinding that you're almost in blackness afterwards while you acclimate to that much stimuli in the light department, if that makes any sense at all.
Oh,
It
yeah,
does,
it does.
because that's exactly what, from my perspective of the play along, that's my perspective. Like that's literally what I wrote. I mean, I was obviously writing fast, so I couldn't put all the sensations in there. But the light was so freaking bright. And you're right. I couldn't have described it that way, but it did feel like the light particles, like I had to acclimate to that. And then my body just became
light.
So light.
Get it?
Mm-hmm.
When you become the light, you can handle the light.
Well, what in the world? Okay, so I was trying to make sure I've got this up here in case you wanted me to pull it up again. Just let me know when you want to pull up or you've got it too. No, you don't have it in the computer, do you? Yes, you do.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
I got it right here.
Well, just let me know, because I'm happy to pull them up. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna something. Oh, okay, there it is. I couldn't figure out what happened to it for a second there. Okay, please continue. I didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead.
I in so many ways, like I feel like at that moment, I wasn't I kind of let the intention aside. When I was listening to you on Facebook and trying to catch the concept of what the intention should be in the first place, I kind of felt as though to kind of see where we are moving forward. Now, I didn't set that intention, but when that happened, and then I watched the video and I was like, holy crap, like we were seeing things from different perspectives. It felt like an event to come. It felt like we were seeing something, whether it be metaphorically or whether it be an actual thing going on. It felt like we were all kind of interacting and playing in that energy, that potential.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yep. I agree. Well, I'm just now, I'm gonna be honest with you. I've just pulled up the very last one that you sent because I was trying to run out of the house. I never got to read this last one.
Okay.
So, well, I want to share, hold on a second. I want to share my screen because we haven't even finished going over the very first one, have we? It's just so cool to me. I don't know how to. Okay. Trying to coordinate how to operate this when I don't really know what I'm doing is so fun. Bear with me just a moment, everybody.
It's working out.
Hold, please.
Yes, that's right. One moment. Hold, please.
I'll sing some elevator music.
Oh, hey, all right.
I kid.
Okay, all right. Okay, so here's number one. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger so we can see it. Okay. All right. Well, I wanted to say that felt like the fact that you put the word freedom at the top, because just the act of what we're doing, practicing, doing, it brings up that feeling within me of freedom. Right. So it's not something that I talked about during that or anything else, but I mean, it's a, I don't know. So I saw that. I was like, wow, that's.
Yeah, but the exercise was an embodiment of us exercising our freedom.
That's what I mean. That's it. Yeah, that's what I meant. I could feel that. Thank you for that, Lisa.
Love that.
Yeah, me too. Thank you for putting it into words like that, because I couldn't find the words right. And so I see freedom, unity, the song, connectedness. What were you feeling when you felt that eternal flame?
Actually nothing. Like those words were coming in very quick, and I feel like that's when you were going over the card from watching the video, because all of those words were in like your section there to where you're talking about
ecstasis. Okay, I gotcha.
Yep, that was strong piece, wasn't it?
It really was. And I feel like in a lot of ways you were talking to me, just listening to it. I'm sure a lot of other people can relate to that too, but you know, I feel like you were talking to me. Was what, and I'm very curious actually. I know some of this still don't make sense to me, but I was writing down everything that was coming.
That was perfect.
Yeah.
I know you had started talking about the song. You were hearing the song. Now, what's so funny about that is on another page I had a song in my head.
I saw that.
And I couldn't figure out what that song was. And I was trying to push it out of my consciousness so I could go back here. And that song would not leave me. So I jotted down, I know the song. My gosh, I know the dang song, but I can't. I was trying to look it up today to see if there was some sort of symbolism in the lyrics or something. And I can't think of the lyrics to look it up. Like I've tried a lot today. Because I feel like there was some sort of metaphor in the lyrics itself, but it'll come to me. But anyways, about that time you were talking about the fairy coming. And I know we've mentioned on a recording or live before about the fairies. And well, we haven't released the session. So we haven't released that. So
that's okay. We can talk about anything you want to. So I'm okay with that.
Okay. So Sheila had done a BQH session for me. And in that session, it was just a flash of a scene, but I was a fairy, which I had found out before in a previous BQH session that, yeah, shocked me too. I feel it already. Shocked me too that I was a fairy. And in this particular BQH session that Sheila facilitated, which she's fantastic at, by the way, I was a fairy and staring at her. So it was really cool that aspect approached you last night, and you were able to encounter and see that and feel that. And I felt that while listening.
That's awesome.
I feel like Sheila even said, it reminds me of Krystle and her songs and her singing. And she wondered if it wasn't even, you, because she kept saying, and I know one person's here. I know for sure. So that's
why I said I couldn't tell if it was Krystle's voice or mine, because I'll tell you, here's the thing, and this is why I said, well, obviously, the minute when we encountered each other, I knew we had stuff to do, didn't know what it was, still don't know what all of it is. But the more this develops with you, I have a feeling that there's something that our voices will be doing together.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that's why, obviously, that's part of the reason I think that I had trouble discerning who. But it doesn't really matter, because on the most expansive level, it's me, you, it's us, right? So it doesn't really even matter. But what was so interesting to me is because just the whole thing that okay, so there's something about the song that just now came in, because look at all of what there were so many synchronicities yesterday that had to do with all of this, that even involved another person that wasn't involved. I mean, I'm pretty sure that person played along too, because they were aware of what was going to be taking place, because I did a reading for that person. So, but the fact that, and it was an impromptu reading, it was something I hadn't planned. It was something I was asked in the last minute. I was like, hey, sure, and the fact that ecstasis came through that reading. And then during our conversations, I for whatever the reason, I felt compelled to share ecstasis. So there's something about the song in general. And Lisa, you're way more familiar with the whole The Lion, the Witch, the Wardrobe, Chronicles of Narnia thing, because I'm given to understand, I've only seen that movie once and I don't remember all of it, but I know the lion sings things into existence. Is this correct?
Yeah, Aslan creates that world through song. Yes. And so it is sung into existence, and the two kids and the wicked queen.
Hold that thought. Hold that thought. Let me read you something else that I wrote. I'm pretty sure I sent you this little page. It actually has a fairy on it too. So I said it is the creation, we have to do it together.
Right. I did see that there. You're exactly correct. No, I know I've been very clear in my mind on some levels that that's why we're all being drawn together, because we have work to do to create things for the new, all of it, right? There's something very important about this whole the song, singing things into existence, and our frequency set point when we do it. And I want to tell you, I was trying to go here really quickly through to get to, because there's a place in here in this book where they talk about the singers. I was hoping to, the singers of the realms. I'm going to read this real quick, okay? Of angels, St. Thomas Aquinas wrote, angels transcend every religion, every philosophy, every creed. In fact, angels have no religion as we know it. Their existence precedes every religious system that has ever existed on earth. These are the great ones whose wings span the multiverse in all dimensions. They have a multitude of human-given names, angels, devas, gods, dakinis, and many others. It doesn't matter to them what we call them. They just hope we call upon them. They are the singers of the underlying song of the universe. Well, I got chills behind that one. So there's something about that, right? And as I was turning, because I saw this last night, right? The Singers of the Realms, right? As I was turning to that, I saw this, singing with the fairies. Fairies love to sing. They consider singing one of the great arts, an alchemy of the spirit. And well, I know what it does for me. If it does 1/10 of what it does for you, Krystle, within your own physical vessel, when you open it up and let it rip, and you know what I'm talking about by that, it's a feeling like no other. They have their own ideas about what constitutes song. And the one thing you can say for certain is that fairy songs are always individual and original. I had to share that because I thought that was really cool.
That's very cool. It's like another piece of the puzzle has just been fit in.
I know, right? That's what it feels like.
So at this point, I'm also wondering, because I'm sitting here looking at this and what we're talking about and how everything kind of played out and the energy that we were playing with. I also kept hearing during that point, I was questioning you this morning. I was like, I just don't see how the yellow brick road fits into this, because I drew a fairy. I'm talking about we have to create it together. The song. Are you hearing this? Yellow brick road. Follow the yellow brick road. And
I was going to say, yes. One of the things that I don't know if it made it into the recording, because when I saw it, I was, like I said, that's a very sad rendition of a high heel shoe. Very sad, very sad. I'm not a drawer. I don't know how to, okay. But what I saw in my head was very much a cartoon high heeled shoe, very fancy. And what I didn't say, I don't think in the recording, nor did I say it to anybody else, but I told you it was red. Now, it wasn't ruby and it wasn't glitter like the movie or anything like that. But when you asked me that, when you sent me that, I was like, oh my God. Well, the first thing when I saw your thing and it said yellow brick road and it said dust, it said yellow dust.
Yellow dust, yeah.
Well, there was something that Lisa shared with me that she didn't share last night that she saw in the meditation about a yellow cat. But when I first saw your writing, I didn't make it out as dust. I thought I was seeing cat. I was like, what? A yellow cat? Wait a minute. I just had to share that because that was a little bit of a wild thing for me. And I also told you too this morning, I felt like that, had to go with, if I'm not mistaken, it might even come out of Lisa's mouth about how we've had the power all along. Didn't you say that, Lisa? Or no?
I don't know, but that has been my go-to metaphor for a long, long time.
Yeah.
for synchronicity, the yellow brick road is synchronicity, and what highlights to you from your heart, and you follow that and you stay on that path, because that whatever highlights leads to the crystal, the Emerald City. And so that's the path that you stay on. Meaning for me, that is the follow your heart, follow your bliss.
And you gotta have a brain.
Yeah. That's how you find your way home. Yeah, because honestly, we're home now. We're just dragging the nightmare into our waking reality, and we don't have to do that anymore. I mean, we just don't have to. We're doing it out of habit because it's what we know how to do, but we don't have to. So that's, we had the power all along.
That's right. We have had the power all along.
Yeah. Huh. But now we wake up and consciously wield it, right? And then we create with our one song that which we wish to experience in unison. And I think that's what we're doing now. We're synchronizing to the one song.
So you did on this, I'm going to pull up this last one here, the one I was sharing that I hadn't had a chance to read. I want to go to number 2 as well, but this one right here, you use the word infiltrate with a question mark.
Yeah, I had heard that word. And I was like, okay, question mark on that one.
Ah, okay.
And I don't think you guys said that word or said anything like that.
No.
During it. There was a couple of other things that y'all didn't talk about, or I don't think had any sort of like metaphor to or anything like that. But I had wrote something about the source code begins to date like computer codes coming in. And I literally wrote 010100010111.
Yeah, I saw that. Where is that one? Here it is. Yeah, right here.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, here it is.
I don't
Now,
know.
I would like to call everyone. I want to talk about this too, right here. This right here, because you talked about you felt like you were in the midst, right? Is that what this is right here?
I don't think so. I think there was a point where BZ was talking about I think it was that second meditation. When I was listening to the video, that's what that made me think of, because that's what I was seeing from my end, like you guys being in unison on sending, bringing this energy in from the central sun, as she called it.
Ah, okay. So that's what you remember. Oh, honey, that's exactly what this is. You remote viewed our meditative thing, the whole thing. Oh, wow. Okay.
These things are kind of all over the place. Let me tell you, I was in the dark, laying in the bed doing this. So
No, this is awesome. No,
I love this.
Yeah.
I also know that I don't know why I wrote these little squiggly lines, but I will tell you that's how I write wind. And BZ referenced the wind many times. That blew my mind. And I think this up here with the hearts floating up and saying, as if it was saying, you know how I try to decode symbols or visuals that I get.
Right.
It felt as though someone was sending me love, or that, we were connected, showing me that we were connected, that they know I was there. And I know that was you, Lisa. I know it.
I did that, and
Actually,
came back to me.
Actually, I think around that time you were actually talking about your superpower being unconditional love. And I think I'm pretty sure around that time you had said something about hearts moving or flying or something like that. I don't know, but I was like,
Why
but the source code, I don't know what that is.
That I do. That's a huge validation piece for me, I have to tell you. And I just shared this with Sheila this morning. I had I had a little meeting with the team, and they shared some data with me about a galactic meeting that was held. And it was shown to me like the Olympics, because it's on that scale, and that there was a delegation from every, what do you call them, civilization throughout the galaxy that came together for a meeting, along with the councils were there. And it was about creating, it was about the closure, of course, of the old game, being that was currently happening. This piece was about the actual creation of the new game, from the foundational boundary, like what does it physically look like, what shapes, and what are the laws governing it, and all of the rules to the game. And that we as a universe, as a universe, the universal will has created an idea for itself that it wants to experience. So our galaxy now is in alignment with the universal will and is moving toward that edict, which is to begin the next iteration of self and begin the new song, the next game. And that was done through consensus and voting, and that now has been wrapped up and complete. So if you will, our agreements for the next game have been filled. meaning we know what it is and the positions are all, everybody is in agreement with what happens as far as just the perimeters of the game, what it is and how to play it, and it is given to mankind. So the timing of this, as that data is wrapping up, it would make sense to me then that would be, to me, this data comes to me from a pre-physical template, in that it's not here manifest yet, but in some part of me it is, and that's where I'm getting the data. And so I'm getting foreknowledge of what is to come, essentially, if you will, because of what has already happened. And so as we align ourselves to this moment, there are those of us whose role is to hold and anchor this frequency as the new codes come in, right? So that we can create the four corners. I don't know, whatever metaphor you wanna, I was trying to think of a building metaphor. But I'm no architect. So.
No, you did great.
Engineer, but at any rate, that's what I feel like is happening right now. This moment is where that physical template is now arriving. And it does so through the open vessels, those that welcome it and that are attuning to the song and joining our chorus, so that it, you know, we're co-creating now.
Right.
And
right,
I
because
feel like that's what we were, that was the event perhaps that we were drawn or shown for this moment of now.
right.
Yeah, the how we participate, because we got to experience it. For me, I didn't really experience the event, whatever it is. I'm just saying this horizon that we witnessed. I was more in the witnessing of my witnessing, right? So now I'm trilocating, because I'm, the person in the chair as well as the observer. And then I'm also a part of the group, because I am all of the different perspectives, as I am the two of you also, right?
Right.
Oh, how exciting is this, that all of us are coming together now to create this whole next thing. And wasn't it fun? I mean, I don't know about you, but that was like one of the more fun exercises that I participated in a very long time.
Yeah, me too.
Thank you to BZ for this great idea.
Yeah. And I want to tell everybody too, thank you for that, Lisa. Because with schedules and everything, we just weren't able to get Krystle and BZ scheduling wise, being on these different coasts like this. Krystle has small children, and so unfortunately we weren't able to include BZ in this particular conversation. But believe me, she is here because she's aware of it. I already talked to her, and so she is here, and of course we've got loads more conversations with Krystle and BZ coming up. So, but I wanted to explain that unfortunately, due to scheduling circumstances, we weren't able to get both of those lovely ladies together at the same time. So,
oh, but that's coming. You can hear.
Yeah, you betcha.
You hear the wind.
Now I wonder, because me personally, I felt some other energies there, so I'm also very curious as to who else chose to play along too.
Yeah, me too, to be honest with you. Let me do a real quick perusal and see, because what's so funny is I don't know, even though I did share it, because it went up on BZ's channel, and I did share it on my Facebook, and I shared it around to other folks. But I don't see where anyone else has emailed me as of yet. And I hadn't gotten any other, private messages or anything like that as of yet. So, but what happens, I think sometimes, folks might not even realize that the video is out yet because it's not on my channel, and so they think they got time, you know, because she can't post anything for 7 days, so I got time, you know. But well, I'm one of them kind of folks. I go around things. I go through things if I can, you know. So we found a way. I mean, you know, but between you and I with your channel and now BZ with hers, and you know, I mean, these will be uploaded on my channel once I'm allowed again. And of course, I will keep my nose clean, so I get to stay and play. But so anyway, so what else was there anything else there, Krystle, that you wanted to bring out? And
I think that was pretty much it. I don't know what the grid shatters. What do you know about that? What is an illusion? I don't know what that was supposed to be about.
Well, now, you know, when I read that, when you sent it, and I read that, and because what you wrote was grid shatters ?
Mm-hmm.
And I, you know, it's something that sort of popped in for me, you know. Well, in the very last conversation we had with BZ before this last one, we were talking about shattering, about how there is some degree of, well, there's something in the starseed contract that talks about shattering. We all agree to be shattered in some ways. I'll send you a link so you can hear it, because it was really profound for me. But in terms of the grid, right? I mean, I don't really know that much about it. I've heard lots of different folks talk about it, and I understand that there are lots of different folks that have had experiences and knowings that they are working on the grid, a new grid, because the way my grokking of it at the moment, and this is just a lot of puzzle pieces, so it's like not something I could point to specifically. It's a lot of puzzle pieces, and it's just my thought, my feeling about it. If indeed at one time this planet was considered under quarantine, okay, because a lot of people have said that this is a prison planet and things like that. I don't know if that's true, but I've heard these things, right? And that there are grids that were, what? Go ahead.
I just want to say that I heard that for the first time today.
Oh, really?
That people actually believe that this is a prison planet.
Oh,
I heard that for the first time today.
Wow, now that's
earlier today. This will be the second time that I've heard that.
Now, isn't that interesting? Yet another synchronicity there, right? I honestly, I've never known how I felt about that. And so, yes, I'm sure that on some level, it depends on your perspective, your perception. Yeah, this is a prison planet. We're all fucking slaves, and you might as well get over yourself and figure out how to free ourselves, because we're doing it to ourselves. That's the other thing. That I think that might be why I always had trouble with that, right? So, but there's also things about ley lines and other energetic grids too, right?
Yeah.
Please, Lisa, I know you have some stuff on this.
No, well, this is what came to me when you said that, and it keeps getting stronger. When you said about the, what were the two words again?
Grid shatters.
Grid shatters. You know what I saw? I saw that wine glass, and the woman sings just the right note, and it shatters.
Yes.
And there's a saying about breaking glass. Okay, it's about the shattering of the old so that the new can take its place.
Yeah.
And so I kind of feel like this song, there's going to be a point where it does shatter the old, because like you were saying, just even, you know, however you want to hold it, there was an, you could even call it artificial in that it wasn't natural. It was made to be this way, but an inverted reality matrix system, you know, hub, ley lines, a whole thing that really does need to be dealt with, because it is what's holding everything into place and sort of running at this juncture on automatic pilot, because we're just used to being hooked up to it and feeding it continually. It's time to make the donuts. And so we just do. And this song is interrupting that by breaking the glass, if you will. And there is no more structure holding in place something that we can unconsciously just do anymore. And in that moment, thus breaking the spell that binds us, if you will. If that makes any sense.
It makes
but
perfect
like all
sense.
of that came in like a huge package when you said those two words.
Oh, look at what I wrote before, right above grid shatters. I said, Mother Earth.
Yep, I'm pulling it up right now.
So I wrote, Mother Earth, taking it back long ago, we are reclaiming this. It is not how it was meant to be. Reclaim. Grid shatters.
Yep.
That's it. Well, see, that's it entirely.
Well, and here's the thing. What I was going to say, Lisa, what before that actually came in for you was what I saw was exactly what you said, only in a different way. The frequency is shattering the old, and that really applies to everything. And why it looks like a grid too, because even think about
it is a grid.
It's all set up on different kinds of grids, right?
Yep. Many.
Yeah.
And they're intricate, they're webs. It would take a lot. And so, but that song, that frequency dissolves or cracks. It no longer has its holding, containing, reverberating abilities anymore. It just evaporates, essentially.
Yeah, well, I'm going
to. My mom found a crystal, a new crystal that I had never heard of before. Oh, it's called cracked quartz crystal. It's not called cracked quartz crystal. It's called fire and ice. That's what it's called. And it's called fire and ice crystal, I think. I don't know. We have to look it up. But she's got the hugest chunk of it imaginable. And it's a huge piece of extremely optically clear quartz crystal that they heat until it and then cool down rapidly, and it shatters, and the inside's fractal, and it creates whole worlds like it did, and it's all prismy like a diamond, how a diamond is cut precisely. Anyway, the crystal now becomes a prism for all new everything. It is just the most magnificent thing. And so it's kind of like that's what, we're gonna be heated up, right, to a degree, and then we're gonna cool down really, really fast. And that process is gonna create these multifaceted or multidimensional beauty that will be self-evident by just looking at us. We are doing this now.
Well, listen, you're so funny, Lisa. I know you could tell the same as Lisa and I just got back from the grocery store right before we met Krystle for this. And so, well, I don't know. First of all, we carry our light. We're happy. We're joyful. That's all that we're always like that. Right. And there's certain folks that, because it's our local store, we're there all the time, and the little cashier lady just loves us. We just love her too. And so, we're chatting and going on. And I don't know, Lisa, but we were over there packing our groceries up. We're at Aldi, so we're packing our own groceries up. And I don't know about you, but I could feel everybody in that line watching you and me. They were watching us. We were interacting with each other, and we were laughing and joking and carrying on. And the cashier had been laughing and joking and carrying on with us. And she was still carrying on conversation with us across the way, little every now and again in between customers, because that's how much she really likes us. And then as we're leaving, we're like, bye, like, you know, just like, I don't know. It's just a thing that I noticed about what you were saying there, Lisa, and I wanted to bring it forward, I guess. I don't know why that came in like that, but it was very noticeable, and it's noticeable to others as well.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you about the well, now I had shared with you'd put on there on one of these, you said something about the spleen. What did you mean about that?
Oh,
spleen area ache, and then I can't read what this small thing is here. Well, I can make
it has anger, question mark, feelings, question mark, suppression. I was trying to figure out, like, why am I sensing that within my body? Like, that was something physical that I was picking up on. And before that is the sacral and the solar vibration. Let me tell you, my sacral chakra was literally, it was so strong that I thought for a moment my phone was laying on my stomach maybe, and somebody was calling or something. Like, that's how much it was vibrating.
Wow.
And then it moved up to the solar plexus area, and then I wound up feeling that, like, I guess that's the spleen, the left side. So I began to question, kind of like, what are those feelings right then? So I don't know if, I don't think I heard you guys talk about, see, I'm having it now. Like, it just, it's like, no, don't walk away from this conversation. Feel me.
Oh, wow. That's so interesting.
Like, it just shocked me, or punched me, sucker punch.
Yeah.
I don't remember hearing you guys say anything about, not too much about like physical or anything like that, or, oh, but y'all did talk about, I think, allowing your feelings to be processed, to let your feelings, you know, if you want to be sad, I think y'all went into a whole thing about, you know, letting those things out.
Letting them move all the way through, yeah.
But yeah, I think you were actually prompted to bring that up. I don't think you just, y'all just casually led into that conversation. I think you had been nudged to talk about that. So you may have been in this ordeal actually picking up something over here on my side.
Oh, really?
And needed to bring it up in that conversation, because you knew I'd be watching it the next day.
Right?
Wow, okay.
Yeah,
That's
like pop. So I mean, that's going to be something for me to explore. But then again, if I think about the teachings that we have had with the 5 ritual, the 5 element ritual, if you think about the spleen, isn't it associated with the earth element? What's right below spleen area? Mother Earth.
well, and not to mention for you and I in particular, we are in the human design projectors, and that is where we make our decisions from, apparently.
Spleen. Mm-hmm.
Yes, which when I saw, that's why I asked you the question as to why that was there. And that's very, what you just got.
That's
something.
a big, you know what, if if everything that has even been wrote down hasn't led into one big message here, that is kind of crazy to me. Not only, this feels like 2 different things kind of happened last night. Not only was I interacting and playing with you guys and remote viewing and, you know, going through, not you know, doing the meditation because I didn't hear every single word that was coming through, but in my own way, everything that I wrote down was, you know,
There.
playing along with what you guys were experiencing. And there's a huge, like, lesson or message in this whole ordeal. You know, what are you going to create? What are you going to create? What decision are you going to make?
Right.
This is
And
awesome.
what are you
More of
tuning
this.
into to make these decisions? Where's your go-to perspective?
Right. Or and you're referring there, Lisa, to your frequency set point. Is that correct?
Yes. And to go inward. That's what we did last night.
Yeah.
Each
Going
one
in.
of us went deeper into ourselves. We weren't reaching out externally. And that's where we find ourselves and each other.
Well, thank you for that, Lisa, because a lot of folks, when you think about, and I did the very same thing, when you think about remote viewing, it makes you think you're taking yourself and sending yourself out somewhere.
No, I felt like we were going somewhere. Yes.
Yes, but you got to go in here first.
Yeah.
The only way out is in
here.
Yep.
The only way out is in. And
I don't know if I could describe it just from, like my experience playing last night, but that is a brilliant point. You do have to go inwards, because if, let's say that I had sent my consciousness over to you guys and I was playing in the realm and trying to pick out pieces and yada, yada, yada. But let's say that I never came back and went within on myself, then this would probably be a blank 4 pages. Like, there probably wouldn't have been nothing. I think the intention was there. It was very clear at that point. Let's be honest, it wasn't very clear in the beginning.
No, I know, and I kind of did it that way on purpose. I kind of did it that way on purpose.
Definitely perfect. But man, we need to play this more often. I think we should make like a weekly or bi-weekly thing of this.
No, I love it too, and I'm in agreement with you. And like I said, there's all these really cool things and ideas and stuff of things to play with moving forward. It's just, and it will happen. I know it will happen. It's just, having everything falling into place. We're going to, I'm going to keep my nose clean. I've figured it out now. I actually was showing something this morning. So Conscious Conversation Essential is still going to be the hub for everything. But I'm going to tell y'all when to go to Rumble and check out some more stuff over on Rumble. And I'm telling y'all.
The story.
Yeah, that's right. Thank you for the rest of the story I'm not allowed to tell you over here. Right. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Or at least for now. We'll see how that works and and everything. So were there any more impressions that either one of you wanted to share? Or
I feel like I need to speak it out for myself, maybe.
Please do.
But I feel like for me personally, the whole, I was trying to write it down, but I couldn't write fast enough. I think the whole message for me that I've really taken away from this is moving forward. Like, the old is out, the new is in, and there's this huge question mark of what are you going to make of it?
Yeah.
And I think that has a big thing to do with my questioning of why this yellow brick road showed in. You really put it into a big perspective for me, Lisa. Bringing it into, the shattering and all of those good things. But my little lesson that I've learned here, and I love learning lessons moving forward, is we are connected. Of course, we are one, we are connected. What are we going to create with this world moving forward? We don't have to stay where we're at. We don't have to sit here and simmer in that crap. We can move forward. What are we going to make of it? And I keep hearing, and when you were talking, it was like they were showing me the Tin Man and the lion. Are you going to have the courage to do it? Are you going to have the heart to do it? Are you going to have the brain to do it? Exactly. Let's move forward from here. Co-create. Let's do it together. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I just had to get that out there just so it would kind of stick
No, that
with
was
me.
that
Well, I have a feeling it's sticking. Because I'll tell you that see, like I said, for me, the way things have gone in my life the last 4 years since I did start this journey of co-creative community, because that's pretty much what I stood in this backyard and asked for in the astrological new year of 2015. And by the end of 2015 is when I met Lisa Risenberry. No, sorry. I did it again. What? She's thinking about me right now. Bet me money. It's 6:03 p.m. Because that's only the second time I've ever done it, because somebody did put in the comments, yes, Sheila, you did call her Lisa Risenberry. Well, I think it's when she's thinking about me, because as long as I've known the two of you, I've never done that. As long as I've known the two of you, I've never done that.
I know. It's so fun.
So what I was saying, though, was that since I began my own honest to God journey into consciousness, my own consciousness, discovery of me, which really happened right along the time of my becoming desirous of co-creative community. And like I said, by the end of 2015, I met Lisa online. And by the end of 2016, Lisa was living here and we were beginning our journey towards co-creative community. And so we've been ever since now, actually, on this journey of co-creative, not just co-creative in all kinds of other ways, but for us cohabitating and co-creative at the same time. And so in various different forms, I think you're right. I think we've been creating, co-creating all along. It's just, we didn't know it. And we were pulling in a whole bunch of stuff we didn't want, and it was being directed and manipulated. And because part of all of this that you brought in, Lisa, the ending of the game of domination and control.
Yeah.
A lot of folks really maybe don't even realize that, but everybody can feel that something's not right on the planet, and everybody has been feeling that for a long time. They don't want to acknowledge it, of course, but so yeah, now and it has felt like for some time that we were closing up and using BZ's terminology, unwinding and unbinding all of that, right?
Yeah.
And I'm convinced, I know for a fact, I voted for this to become a full-on, everybody got their memories back, creator being society, and create from a stance of, you're creating. And so that's what I voted for. I hope that's the game we're playing next, because that's the one I wanted. So anyway, but I agree. And I'm so glad that you came to play with us, Krystle. Thank you so much.
So fun.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. And I'm going to say to anybody else out there, if y'all did play, don't wait. Go ahead, send it in. I'm too quick on the draw. I'm not going to let these things sit around, man. I don't know about you. You said to me the other day, it's go time. You typed it to me in a private message. You got the chills. I got the chills. Everybody I know feels like it's go time is sort of an understatement. And it also is starting to, I think even folks who don't even realize that stuff's been going on are feeling the go time-ness of it.
Oh, yeah.
So very interesting.
Yeah, I've even kind of recognized that in people that, that I know personally. It's like they have this energetic that's revolving around them that says, yeah, it's go time.
Yep.
So it's pretty interesting.
Yeah. Well, thank you both so very much for coming and playing with me today. I am so grateful. And I want to tell everyone, you know, you will be seeing this on Journey into It and Beyond before you see it on Conscious Conversation Central. So please do me a personal favor and go over and subscribe to Journey into It. Well, you're going to be seeing it there, so do it while you're there, actually. And, you know, feel free to share and, well, subscribe over there. But then if you haven't subscribed to Conscious Conversation Central, we'll make sure there's a link and you can come over and subscribe at Conscious Conversation Central too. And then there also will be a link to Rumble. Make sure you go over to Rumble and subscribe to Conscious Conversation Central, because all of the things that I'm not allowed to say over here are going to be said over there. Because I'm going to say them. I'll just put it that way. I'm going to say them. Got to get them out in the field somehow. So,
Yeah.
I guess that's it for this one, ladies, unless you have anything else.
No.
I think
That's
that's
it.
it on my part.
All right,
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah, thanks for playing, ladies.
Yeah.
Thank y'all.
Love you.
Till next time, choose joy, everybody.
Much love.